You can take all our money, but you can't have our soul. You can burn down our buildings, and we'll still find a home. We will all stick together, and we'll never surrender. We won't give up our freedom.
So we're out here on the second day of the trial of Julian Assange. It's his appeal against extradition. Basically, it's an appeal against the death sentence, because if he goes to America, there's very, very little chance that he will ever see the light of day again, and he will never probably, he'll probably end up dying in prison. So the court could give the verdict today. They will certainly give a direction at the end of the day what they're going to do. And I'm here personally to protest, because I think this is not just an attack on civil liberties, but what they're doing with Assange is making an example. They're crucifying Assange to an example to anybody else. Do not spill the beans, do not expose authority when authority is actually breaking the law. And that's meant, the treatment of Assange is meant as an example for us, to intimidate us. And we've also heard up here about how it's linked the right to have a jury court, which is also under attack, the right to protest, which is also under attack, and all these things are connected. So if Assange is extradited, if he is in fact given a death sentence, it is going to affect us all.
Money, but you can't have our soul.
You can burn down our buildings, and we'll still find a home. We will all stick together, and we'll never surrender.
We won't give up our freedom.
Well, look, you've come here today. It's quite clear that you're in support of the freedom of Julian Assange. What brought this to your attention in the first place?
Well, I followed Julian since WikiLeaks, and I just think the whole scenario is terrible. And Chelsea Manning's been released, and Julian is still incarcerated.
It does seem very strange, doesn't it? That's America. They've released
Yes.
one of their own,
Yes.
but for an Australian citizen, they
After
haven't.
a few years, and yet Julian's been incarcerated for a long, long time.
We've heard encouraging talks, obviously, up there, especially from Jeremy Corbyn, and they're basically saying, nobody's going away. How do you feel about it yourself?
No, we're not going away. We will stand by this. I'm terrified he'll be sent to America.
And what does this mean for the ordinary person in the street if people like Assange are incarcerated forever?
It means our freedoms have gone.
So a message for the younger generation, perhaps.
Stand up to tyranny.
We just love his freedom. No, we won't give up our freedom.
I'm a regular supporter with Julian Assange crowd in London. We meet 2-3 times a week. He's part of my crew here, and we all feel very important. Obviously, it's one of the most important things for the truth and freedom and people's rights going on in the world today. People don't understand the importance of it. Yeah.
I think what you said there is very interesting, isn't it, Bill? That people don't actually understand. And the only way that people do understand is obviously through the press, through the media, and their social interactions. Today, there's a huge social interaction, which is very positive for people to understand what's going on and what's at stake. But in terms of publications and letting people know what's going on, what should people be doing to find out awareness of such matters?
That's right. You're right. And a lot of people, even friends of mine, are kind of disappoint me sometimes with the lack of knowledge. And it's not that I'm an intelligent guy or more intelligent than anyone else. It's just that I do my sums, do my homework, just look at what's out there, and don't just believe everything willy-nilly you see on the news. It doesn't work like that.
Well, what is interesting is that human beings are human beings. We're social creatures, as Jeremy Corbyn was just reminding us earlier, that we need to interact with each other. When there's some form of intercessor in between us, then we have to make sure that that's a good one and a truthful one. But clearly, we can see by people here today that a lot of truth's not being told, and a lot of truth is being told, and people need to understand it. How would you advocate people socialising better in order to understand what's going on.
You're right. To understand, the first thing you got to do is listen to the other person and their point of view. Obviously, everybody lives a different life. Their world is different from yours. Just because it's different doesn't mean to say you can't agree on some things, and you may disagree on others. But unless you had a good chat about it, you would never know. And as far as relative to what you said about Jeremy Corbyn, I was happy he bumped into me the other day and said hello to me. It's nice on the street.
One of the great rarities of a politician these days, isn't it?
Well, yeah, I've got respect for the man because he's here now today and understands what it's all about. Yeah.
Well, that is quite interesting, actually, because I can't quite see Sir Keir Starmer anywhere around here at the moment.
That's
and you'd
right.
think that a Labour-oriented party would have social values for people at their forefront, wouldn't you?
You're right. I'm a working class background man. I work on the building sites all my life. Obviously, my accent's from the north of England. I travelled to London for work many years ago, ended up living here. It was back in the day with Maggie Thatcher days where there was no work up north. I came down to London to find work. Keir Starmer is my MP, believe it or not. I live in Camden. Now, he doesn't represent me at all in any way. That man, where is he? Yeah, where is he? Doesn't represent me in any way.
So Sir Keir Starmer lives in Camden, Bill lives in Camden, and guess who's representing freedoms for people? Bill, thank you very much for sharing that great insight for us
You're
today.
very welcome. I've obviously emailed Keir Starmer on my thoughts on Julian Assange case. I got a reply, but it wasn't from him, it was from his office.
What can I say? Bill, thanks very much.
Take all our money, but you can have our soul. You can burn down our buildings, and we'll still find a home.
Hi, I can see that you've got a big poster there. It says Free Julian Assange. We've seen that everywhere. And the sentiment is quite clear today that people are very unhappy about the incarceration of someone for clearly telling the truth about a situation, clearly revealing factual, unabridged evidence. There's no editing in the information that was provided. So everyone could see clearly what was going on. And now he's ended up in a jail.
Yes.
And yet he's got no charges against him while the British government appears to be scurrying around trying to find charges with another foreign power. How do you feel, first of all, in your heart about such a matter?
I'm feeling very sad, very disappointed. So I'm Anne Tyson. I'm coming from the Comité Free Assange from Belgium. So we are many people all around the world to consider that this situation is really not normal. We see a lot of criminals being at the power, being elected, and here we have someone who is denouncing state abuses. Who are true. I mean, there is no evidences against what he said, so everything is true, and he is treated as a criminal. So I find this completely unfair. So we are many to mobilize for this today, and we hope that the mobilization can still have an effect on the justice.
Well, we do know that in France and in Belgium,
Yes.
well, the folk over there, from what we view over here, they're very active. I mean, if they're not happy with their government, they get out and about, mainly on their tractors.
Yes.
And we've had a lot of that press and information suppressed from us over here in the UK. We really don't see that on the main news or in the main press. It's hidden from us. So we know you're very passionate over there. How is the feeling over on your side of the water?
Well, our government doesn't do anything for Julian Assange, of course, but the public knows, and yes, the academics in the universities, they talk a lot about this case. We have a lot of associations that are dealing with human rights, who are concerned about it. We have students' boards who are mobilizing us so for these reasons. Yes, but officially the people are scared. I think they don't take position officially.
Well, I think you've summed it up. So there you have it. I mean, we're talking to a lot of people, they're fighting for freedoms,
Yes.
but clearly the biggest sticking point that we're going to be coming against is people are too frightened to speak out. But how frightened are they going to be if someone like Julian Assange is going to be manacled up forever? Is that not our freedoms mangled up forever? And is that not worth fighting for?
Yes, it's really worth to fight for. And if we believe in journalism, we have to do something. We have to say something. Because otherwise there won't be any press, there won't be any freedom of press anymore.